G'day. I just wanted to share a little bit about how important it is in the spiritual life to have a plan of life in such a way that you set your priorities correctly and schedule well. You see, we want to shape our lives according to God's plan for us. So, how can we practically do this? Be able to live according to what's really important, to set priorities right. Otherwise, we're driven by the expectations of others, living by their agenda rather than by what's right in God, or we're just being governed by the urgency of the moment, or just by what a whim or fancy that we have that rises within us. So we have to avoid just living our lives according to our own desires and doing what is God's way of things. So how should I be using my time? How much on social media? How much on surfing the net? How much time at the gym? How much time with my favorite hobby? How much time with my friends? How do I get balance between prayer and work, family and career, church activities and time with others? When do I hang out with friends and when do I study? This is what we call time management, which is really important for the spiritual life because you could spend a lot of time just wasting really good and valuable time. I want to tell you a time management story. There was a professor who was on teaching time management, and he had a class before him, and he had a big glass container, and he first of all put some big rocks into the container, and he said, the class, is it full? They said, yes, it's full of rocks. Then he got some sand and he shook the sand down into it, and he said, now is it full? I said, yeah, sure it's full, it's got rocks and sand in it. And then he got some water and he poured some water in, and that all went down through the sand as well. And he said, now is it full? I said, yeah, it's full. He said, yes, it is full. He said, what's the point of the demonstration? And they said, well, you can always put something extra into your life. He said, no, that's not the point at all. The point is, if I had not put the rocks in first, I would never have got them in there. And the rocks represent the priorities of your life. Your top priorities, they must come first in your life. So that to be able to do that, you need to schedule your week. To put the first things in, the most important things, put those in first, right? And then you work it out with your spiritual guide or some other person that you can rely upon, that you're actually not kidding yourself. And so that you've got in things that are really important to be in your life and you build the rest of your life around that, right? Rather than try and fit them in later when you've filled up your schedule, right? If you think of your life as like a wheel and the center of the wheel at the hub is Jesus and there's four spokes to the wheel, well, there's four big spokes that need to be there, like the priorities that need to be there. First of all, prayer and the sacraments. Secondly, reading of scripture and spiritual reading, lives of the saints. Thirdly, community, that's like your family, your youth group, your life sharing group, whatever it is. And then fourthly, service with the poor and in evangelization. And when you've got those four spokes there around the hub of Jesus, it rolls on really well. So balance is really important. You can't be overly spiritual, but neither should you be overly just worldly, right? And caught up in the agenda of the world. So it's getting that balance of prayer and work, family, career, study, recreation, spiritual activities, physical activities, the whole thing. So the aim is that at any time during your week, you know you're doing what is God's will. You see, because you've planned it according to the mind of the Lord, not according to the next urgent moment, not according to what someone asked you to do at the moment, but you're planning it according to what you believe is God's purpose for you. So you've got into your life then what is really in the mind and the heart of God for you at this particular time in your journey. So you're not just going to do things, oh, well, I just do what comes naturally. If you're just one of those people who do what comes naturally, it's usually you're fairly fleshy, right? It's double speak for I'm living according to the flesh rather than the spirit. So if you want your life to be lived according to the spirit, then get about this business of really prioritizing and with the mind and the heart of God and prayerfully working out your week in that way. And then you'll have a much happier and fulfilled time because you won't be sort of continually berating yourself for having missed the things that were most important. But now you'll have those in place. So I entrust that little task to you, that during this coming week you have a go at it. Set down your schedule, and prioritize. So you make sure you've got your prayer in there all the time. You've got the things that are most important, and get all that thing in place. And then you can build in your other things as well. And you'll have a much happier, much more fulfilled life. And bless his name.